O Metrópoles conversou há pouco aqui em Tel Aviv com Nadav Shoshani, porta-voz das Forças de Defesa de Israel. Eu perguntei a ele sobre o caso do ativista brasileiro Thiago Ávila, que está em uma segunda embarcação junto com outros ativistas, médicos e jornalistas, tentando furar o bloqueio israelense para chegar à faixa de Gaza para levar ajuda humanitária. O porta-voz disse que o caso será tratado conforme a lei vigente, ou seja, o grupo deve ser novamente interceptado e deportado. We had some activists in a boat. They were trying to reach Gaza. They were detained and then deported. They are trying to go to Gaza again in another boat. What will happen with them since they are reaching Gaza again?
Well, we've been operating to maintain security on Israel's borders and to make sure that this legal naval blockade on Gaza is kept. If I remind you, on October 7th, Hamas carried out their terror attacks also through sea, killed Israeli civilians through sea. And we will act according to the law as we have in the past to make sure that we keep the safety of the security in a peaceful way. And we call on people who want to bring aid into Gaza. There are a lot of channels to bring aid into Gaza. Almost 2 million tons of aid have entered Gaza since the beginning of the war. And there are different ways to do that, and people are welcome to do that in the organized legal ways.
Eu também questionei o porta-voz sobre a situação de centenas de caminhões de ajuda humanitária que estão parados após o checkpoint de Israel, ou seja, eles estão na faixa de Gaza, prontos para serem coletados, mas ninguém vai buscá-los, nenhuma das entidades que atuam na faixa de Gaza. Ele deu a sua visão sobre por que isso está acontecendo, lembrando que a desnutrição é um problema grave no enclave. Can you talk with us a little bit about the trucks that are stopped in the Gaza Strip? You know what's happening there? What's the situation?
Currently, there are hundreds of trucks inside Gaza waiting to be picked up by the international community. Israel is not blocking aid from going into Gaza. On the contrary, there's aid right now waiting to be picked up in Gaza by the international community, aid that Israel has facilitated the entry of, and we are committed to this effort. We have been committed since day one, and that's what we're operating for, part of that. And while we're fighting this enemy, Hamas, that is holding our hostages in the hands of terrorists, we are also conducting this very important operation of bringing aid into Gaza.
Nadav também falou sobre o ataque israelense que atingiu uma igreja cristã em Gaza. O porta-voz disse que o caso está sendo investigado, mas adiantou que a igreja não era um alvo.
Well, we're still looking into the incident, trying to understand what happened. Obviously, we did not strike the church as a target. IDF does not target churches. We value a lot places of prayer of all religions, and we have people of all religions in the IDF: Jews, Christian, Muslim, any religion. So we're going to look into this incident. We are looking into it, trying to understand what happened there, if it was an IDF strike, and obviously we will be very transparent with what we find and give an honest report of what happened, and we're looking into it as a very serious matter. And we obviously, it's very important for me to emphasize, we do not target churches in any way whatsoever, and we will do our best to understand what happened there. And if it was an IDF strike, obviously we will be very transparent about it and do the right steps to prevent this from ever happening again. You know, war is a very difficult thing, not an easy thing, and Israel did not choose this war. Hamas began this war, and Hamas is preventing it from ending. Hamas is holding hostages, civilians, in their hands in horrible conditions in tunnel. Hamas could have ended this war months ago if they put down their weapons and released the hostage. Israel has been very clear about what we want and what we need this war to end. And for us, this is a situation we're doing because we have to, not because we want to. We are fighting for our lives. We understand that if we don't stand on the guard, Israeli civilians will be killed by terrorists, and that's what we're doing. And we're fighting this war because it's a right war and a just war and a war we must conduct to protect Israeli civilians. And we call this an existential war. I left my job personally to join the army for this war. And many Israelis have left their jobs to fight for Israel because we understand that these terrorists want to kill us and we have to defend ourselves.
De Tel Aviv, em Israel, Samuel Pancher para o Metrópoles.